Welcome, fellow Emergineers. Derek Rydell here, and welcome to the best year of your life, group coaching. And it's just such an honor to be with you again. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in time, in the time zones, or in the timeless. And it's so great to be here with you and to dive deeply into the truth of who and what we really are and why we're really alive. Because there really is something going on the planet right now in this time in human history. There's an emergence, there's an activation. The energy is much higher. And you can see it in one way by all the challenges that are breaking out on the planet and all the challenges that are breaking out in virtually almost every area. Government, racism, gender, with all the different things in the news. In all around the world, there's so many hot spots and hot topics. And this is actually a sign of progress. If you look back in history, there certainly were some pretty intense things going on. There were certainly some very devastating wars and devastating plagues and some really, dark things that were happening in history. But it was often relegated to one particular thing, and mostly it was some kind of war or battle. But rarely would you see in every area of life tremendous outbreaks of issues. And so we have civil rights, social rights, economic injustices, all of these issues breaking out everywhere, gay rights, all of it. And it's a sign that a larger idea, a more evolved idea is trying to emerge, and it's bumping into all of the old patterns, the old beliefs, and when that happens, you end up with a crisis. You end up with a problem or a challenge or a seeming breakdown, but every breakdown is really just an opening for a breakthrough. And of course, what's true on the macro is true on the micro. In our own lives, when we experience chronic problems and the breakout of all these different issues, it's often a sign that we've been living in a world too small, that there's a larger life that's been activated, and it's trying to emerge in our life, and we're just not fully letting it yet. And again, it's not about blame or fault. Again, as you hear me teach, the crises and the challenges are actually evolutionary catalysts, just like the forest fire causes the jack pine to the glue to melt on the pine cone and release the pine seeds so that they can develop new pine trees. And it burns away the old trees and the old ground cover to make room for the new trees. So the fire is an evolutionary force that, if without it, the forest would die. The forest would fail to thrive. So we don't make the fires bad. We don't make the crises bad. We celebrate them, and we recognize that what's in the way is the way. What's in the way is the way. And as I like to say, I was talking to somebody yesterday, and they're talking about having a block. And I say, I just take all my blocks and I build something new out of it. Like kids with their blocks, making a building. So what's in the way is the way, and the crises and the challenges are evolutionary openings for the next stage of our growth to emerge. And that's happening on the planet, and it's happening individually. And as all this happens, the challenge, and this gets to the topic of today's talk, is that we tend to give our power away. We tend to believe that appearance has power, that the economy, if it's going bad, seemingly, has power. Because again, a bad economy is just a judgment call. It's really all relative, because a quote-unquote bad economy to one person is a great economy to another. It's an opportunity for innovation and for breakthroughs and for different kinds of service and opportunities. So there never has in the history of the world been a bad economy.